Warning: the following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Hey folks, how's it going? So today, doing something that I've kind of had on my radar for a while, but just have never made it for whatever reason. Hey, Avocado Green Kitchen, how's it going? Mississippi Mud Cake Be Far Behind? I have no idea what that is. Yeah, so I've known about it, but for whatever reason, now just felt like the time to actually give it a go. And so, yeah, making Mississippi instant pot roast, is, we're calling it. Interestingly enough, the original recipe comes from a woman by the name of Robin Chapman in Ripley, Mississippi. And the story is that it started out as her mom's pot roast recipe, but for whatever reason it was just way too spicy or whatever, and so she modified the recipe and started making it, and people that had it, it was just known as roast beef at the time, they really liked it. I guess she shared the recipe for it with her best friend, I believe her name is Karen, who then published the recipe in a church cookbook. And I don't think she was angry about it, but hey, Soldier of Giants, what is up? Oh, okay, so you're familiar with this, so this should be good. But at that point, it kind of people saw it, people tried it, they really liked it, and it sort of spread like wildfire. And so much so that it took to the internet, and at some point the name Mississippi pot roast ended up getting stuck to it. So in looking up recipes, I've probably read 20 or 30 different variations, including the original. And the original is really funny because it's about as laid back and hands-off as possible. It's literally a chuck roast, but in the notes it says sometimes they'll use rump, sometimes they'll use whatever. Sometimes they'll sear the meat, sometimes they won't. But it was the beef, a packet of ranch dressing mix, dry, a packet of gravy mix, a jar of pepperoncinis, and the pepperoncinis scattered in there, maybe some salt and pepper, and then stuck into a crock pot for 8+ hours until it became fall apart tender. And then you just pull it apart, serve it with some root vegetables or something like that, and there you go. Chocolate cake with marshmallows, chocolate nuts on top of the frosting, comes in pie form too. Oh, okay. Right on. I crock pot when I can. Leftovers get made in little hand pies. Okay.
Great idea.
That is a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Good idea.
Nice. Okay. So this is kind of my little take on it, but I will say I posted the recipe on the Discord. Okay. And so there's a link to the recipe. All right. It's pretty stripped down. It is pretty basic. And I resisted the urge to go crazy with it and just, okay, we're going to do all these things. We're going to change it up because and it's like I wanted to, but at the same time, I felt like, you know what? The essence of this recipe is it's supposed to be super easy. You're not supposed to fuss too much about it and just kind of let it go and enjoy it. And so that's my plan for this. I'm going to do a couple of things that, my training, my background, and everything else is screaming at me not to do, but I'm going to do it. So, okay, here we go. Because this is going to take a little while. I want to get this started ASAP. All right. For this, I've got myself a hunk of chuck. This one clocks in at a little under 2.5 pounds, but it's got some beautiful marbling on it, and that's really kind of what I wanted. Now, normally, I would be like, hey, let's get a really nice sear on this, let's, do it up, let's create, all those yummy brown flavors. Today, however, right in the Instant Pot. You okay? You're right? Mrs. Hueso's making a mess of some kind.
Yeah.
Shoulders are pretty busy. There are always folks around when animal care is concerned. Here's what you're going to do to it. So on the Soldier Giants, I'm doing it this way because I've never made this before. Okay, I'm not familiar with the flavoring. I'm not familiar with anything else. So I'm keeping it simple. So then that way, afterwards, I can sit there and evaluate and be like, okay, this has worked for me. This didn't work for me, and then we can change it and do what we got to do. And that, hey, there I am. I'm like, we're missing my face. Okay, so the chuck is in. Boom. Next step. Ranch packet. Okay, ranch packet in. Next. This says onion dip. But I know for a fact this is used also as onion soup. Because when I went to look for onion soup packets, they literally had onion soup / dip. So,
Scott 2572 is here.
hey, what's going on, Scott 2572? How you doing, man? All right, packets in. I was, thinking, hey, I've got like butt glitter and I've got my salt over here, thinking I might need them. With the amount of, I'll show y'all, the amount of like stuff that's on top of there, I don't think I necessarily need it, honestly. So that's insulating an attic. Oof. So, okay. Next up, Team Liquid and pepperoncini. So, the Mazzetta pepperoncini, this is about as typical as it gets. Curious how hot these are. I haven't had a pepperoncini in a really long time. Woo! Oh, oh.
Regret and shame.
Oh, oh.
Do you want me to get you some milk?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Oh my goodness. There was a lot more bite to that than I remember. Oh my gosh. Okay. Some recipes are like, yeah, just dump the whole thing in. Others are like, like 5. Having now tried that one, I'm still working on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 7. 7's a good number. Okay. Now for that liquid, probably going to do something really stupid here. Okay. I tasted it. The liquid, so it's just the pickling liquid that the pepperoncini were in. It's like a vinegary pickling liquid is kind of what I'm getting out of it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of the pickling liquid, and I think the rest I'm going to make up with water and Maggi seasoning. If you're unfamiliar with Maggi seasoning, it is kind of like a amped up liquid umami. So I'm thinking about a tablespoon or so of it, so then that way it's not super overpowering, because it's really meant to be used as kind of like a base note background sort of thing. But I think with that, and then I'm going to top this up with water to one cup, get it in there, and then we're going to call it good and get it going. So, okay. To be honest, I didn't know like how much I was gonna.
Accidental chaos!
Hey, what's going on, Accidental Chaos? Okay. So it's in. We've got liquid all the way around. Hey, Ladenthia, what's going on? Now entering.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Blah 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 region.
Yeah.
India.
From the world of Warcraft. Currently leveling a character of some kind. I know that's what you do in that game. Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna do one other thing a little bit differently. It was raid night. Oh, there you go. Oh, Power Washer Simulator. I've seen that game. It looks very therapeutic, I guess.
Not as difficult as actual power.
Not as difficult as actual power washing. Totally. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I made an executive decision. So into the bottom of this, in addition to the normal ingredients that I have listed in the recipe, I'm going to throw in a couple of mushrooms and some onion and some chopped up garlic. And yeah, because I'm just thinking back to kind of a basic roast that was done in the Instant Pot, and the sliced up like onions and mushrooms and everything just added just a really good flavor to the au jus, since we're gonna want to harvest that at the end. So, I mean, this is... I don't feel like this is out of character for the recipe. I don't feel like this is a like a slap in the face to it, because I mean it's dead simple. I mean the mushrooms that I had there I've already had washed just because I needed them for the roasted veg. I mean, this is just onion that I had in the fridge, so we're keeping it simple. Alright, and I'm thinking I need to pick up that chuck roast and get all the vegetation underneath it, and that's going to be the best idea. And then we need to put the butter in. I think we're good to go. Hey! Thanks for the gift sub, Scott. My only concern about trying to lift this up is all the seasoning and stuff on top. But, I mean, it's all going to get mixed in anyways, so... Alright. So this is what we're looking at. Okay. Last but not least, the butter. Butter, from what I understand, is a totally optional thing, but it's super common in most of the recipes that I've read. So I will, you know, add the butter. Butter. Somewhere Paula Dean's ears perked up. Did somebody say butter? Alright. Boom. There we go. Dollops butter all over the top. Into the Instant Pot. Alright. Pressure cook. High. 60 minutes.
Scott's asking what makes this Mississippi?
Yeah.
Apologize for me.
Oh no, it's all good. See, that's where the history of this is a little weird, because the original recipe originated in Mississippi. Okay. As for what makes it distinctly Mississippi, other than the fact that that's where it came from, I can't really say. However, the thing more than anything else, the two things more than anything else that you will see in just about every recipe, and I would say this is a 95+% of the recipes that you see online for a Mississippi pot roast, is the dry ranch packet and the pepperoncini. Those are going to be the two things that you'll see most often. I've seen some recipes where instead of using the packets, they will just add the dry herbs that one would find in it. Sort of like the, you know, just because they feel like it's more pure that way, I guess. If you're trying to like class it up a little bit, I guess. But I feel like at that point you start taking this recipe a little bit too much to the extreme, because the whole idea behind the recipe is that it's like 5 ingredients into the crock pot, dump it in, put on the lid, turn it on low, go to work, come home, and there it is. That's the whole idea. Is it's meant to be something simple, something that one could say take to a church potluck, something, you know, it's like weeknight meal. It's like you get it ready before you go to work, you come home, you make whatever you need as a side, and it's ready to go. It's meant to be simple. It's meant to be uncomplicated. So I really feel like if one were to take this recipe to the extreme, you've completely lost the spirit and kind of what the whole point of it is. You know what I mean? So On the Soldiers of Giants loves this. I did get a comment from a cousin of mine that is living in the Floribama Shore area, I think. I don't know exactly where he lives, but he was saying that it's a super popular recipe down there. He's never personally made it, but he's very well aware of it. So, okay, it's a go-to. Okay, see, exactly. This is exactly why stuff like this exists. So then that way, somebody who doesn't have, I mean, clearly On the Soldiers of Giants is a very busy individual, doesn't have the time to, you know, whip together like a, you know, full thing. However, On the Soldier of Giants has the time to throw all this into the crock pot, plug it in, turn it on low, and then leave. Right? So, yeah. Like, this recipe, honestly, will exactly the same. The only difference would be that you're putting it in a crock pot for 8 to 10 hours on low. That's it. The only difference being the amount of time. Pensacola. Okay, so yeah, Floribama Shore. Really. There we go. I really should have turned the oven on. Whoopsies. Because this is gonna take a little bit to come up to pressure, do its thing. It's on, but we need to prep the other stuff. So, but thankfully we got time, so it's not like, oh my gosh, wait a time crunch. Thankfully. Like, potatoes are actually gonna be the last thing. The vegetation, that's actually gonna take longer, so I just figured out how to do an egg wash on the pie. Say, hey! That is progress. You barely cooked the leftover meat pies. You know what's funny on the Soldier of Giants? I actually have a pie crust, a thing of pie crust dough in the freezer in the garage from when I did quiche. That might be something to get out and use to make hand pies with this stuff. Mrs. Hueso is all over that. I got gloves. These are technically non-sterile, so I just give them a quick rinse. So I've got sort of the usual suspects here. I've got some mushrooms. I got some little mini peppers.
Great job. Great
yellow
job.
Squash out of our garden, and a Mexican squash here, and an onion. I also have some tomatoes that we'll throw into the roasted veg and let that do its thing. Thankfully, we don't have to rush too much, since once that comes up to pressure, I want to say we'll have, so it's an hour at pressure and then a natural cool down of about 15 minutes. Although, if you wanted to just let it come down naturally completely, I don't see any reason why you couldn't. Then we gotta make some whipped taters. That will do last because it doesn't take anywhere near as long. You know, it's funny, most of the time when I make this roasted veg, I usually end up making like a full tray worth. We don't necessarily eat them all like at dinner, but the leftovers are fantastic for, like, say, scrambled eggs, quiche, a whole lot of things, really. Hash. Yeah, and the roasted veg are, yes, you are contributing. Well done. The roasted veg, I mean, it's literally chopped up vegetables. I'm going to hit them with a little bit of grapeseed oil, some salt, and my pixie dust. Mix them up, and then roast them. They'll go for, a tray like this will go for about 45 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit in my oven. Your oven may vary, but that gets to the point where things are softened. We're starting to get some coloring, and it's just kind of a really good place. Part of the reason why I like doing like the little tomatoes is because during that time they kind of pop and split, and so you'll get some of that tomato juice that comes out and kind of concentrates with all the other juices, and it's just yummy. I am a fan. All right.
We need to send some pixie dust on the Soldier Giants. And Scott!
Okay. Yeah. Soldier Giants, Scott 2572. Hit me up in the Discord PMs. Give me an address and I'll send you some of the butt glitter and some of the pixie dust.
Yes. Is it the oven?
I don't think it is ignited as of yet. That might have been me. Oh, different kind of gas. Thankfully, I washed all this stuff ahead of time, so. Yeah, totally, Scott. To be fair, I did mix up kind of a large batch of this stuff when the honored guests were in town. And I did send them home with some, but I do have quite a bit. So, okay. 1 hour. It's at pressure. Guess that means we gotta put the spurs to it. So the squashes I'll leave a little bit bigger. I mean, because the onion, even though it's thin, even though it's kind of big like that, and these are definitely bigger because these will cook down quite a bit. Everything on the tray has been washed, so it's all good. Even though it's totally off camera and you can't see what's going on with it right now. I'm really interested to see how this yellow squash is, since it's the first one of the season out of the garden. Speaking of which, was I supposed to water today?
I didn't water today.
Okay. Because I didn't. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to.
No worries.
I did give them a pretty good soaking yesterday, so this should be alright.
Look like they need it. And we have flowers on the green beans.
I did see that. You saw the flowers on the tomato plants, yeah?
There's tomatoes on the tomato plants.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I think I saw a couple a couple of them on the larger of the two.
We need to put some compost down.
Okay.
Give it some nutrition.
She'll grow these. Oh, the only thing that I grew on the Soldier Giants was the yellow squash. Everything else was purchased at the market. But we do have a small garden going along the side of the driveway out front. I mean, ideally, well, if it were up to me, we wouldn't even have a front lawn. Hey, what's going on, Windeer? Currently just chopping up vegetation that's going to get roasted up to go with our Mississippi instant pot roast. And then we're going to work on some whipped potatoes. I kind of figured potatoes would be really good with this, but in kind of thinking about it, I figured that like rice would also probably be really good with this.
We need a few good taters.
Or even potatoes.
Taters. What's taters, eh? Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Like egg noodles. Egg noodles, I think would be pretty good with this. Kind of like a who'chamacallit, like a stroganoff. Oh, baby.
Princess.
Sorry, this is relevant. They announced the Banzuke for the September Basho. That's the rankings for Division 1.
Yes.
And a couple of interesting things have occurred. So Ryuden moved up like we knew he would. He moved up to 12 West, Magashira, I think it was.
So is he in the first round?
He's in the first division. But he's at the lowest level of the first division, but he's there. But there were two other guys that also moved up to that first division. There's a video on YouTube that
We'll be watching later.
yes. And it explains like who's in that. Now, it didn't say anything about Division 2, so we'll have to look into that. But yeah, that's 10 days. 10 days is when the opening of the September Basho is. So not that the name Ryuden was going to mean anything to you guys. But Ryuden is a wrestler that did very well the last couple of tournaments. In Division 2, I think he won it in both the last two, which was part of the reason why he got promoted to Division 1. He is, however, probably the most hated wrestler right now. The reason is during COVID lockdown, he had snuck out of his home and his relatively new wife to meet up with the mistress on multiple occasions. Now, what's really interesting about this is the mistress thing is pretty deplorable. But that's not what the Japanese media really focused on. It was the fact that he broke COVID protocols and went outside. That was what they were taking issue with, was the fact that he broke COVID protocols and public health guidelines and everything by going out after curfew. But it is pretty funny because I will say, like, when he wrestles, like, everybody in the chat is very vocal about how much they hate him. And it's kind of like, how do I put this? You know how there's like the Chuck Norris, like, oh, Chuck Norris, would do all these amazing and kind of crazy things, and it's sort of like the running joke. Oh yeah, Chuck Norris, once, sneezed, and that's how we have, the Pacific Ocean or something like that. I don't know.
You're just making this up.
No, I am making it up. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Is that, there's just the Chuck Norris jokes. Anyway, so for Ryuden, it's very much like that, but like he's like the ultimate Karen. So it's things like he goes to McDonald's and orders the Happy Meal and gets the most popular toy. The last one, making the kid, and then, shows it off to the kid behind him in line, making him cry. And it's always stuff like that. It's never like, anything super horrible, but it's just like, clearly a D-bag kind of maneuver sort of thing. It's pretty funny. I will be really interested to see how Enho's rank changes in this basho. So I'm pretty...
There it is. Your mom's got it.
Chuck Norris memes will live on in infamy. Chuck Norris was bitten by a king cobra. 10 minutes later, a snake died. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like, it'll be really, really interesting to, like I said, I'm curious how, like, Enho's rank changed. Because this is a guy that, bucked, tradition in the fact that, most sumo wrestlers are really large. He's only 100 kilos, which is tiny in the sumo world. But he's a very technical wrestler, and at one point, Chuck Norris elbow slammed the ground and created the Grand Canyon. Yeah, exactly. Bring forth the Chuck Norris jokes. So, but the last couple of tournaments, like, he hasn't been doing all that great.
Freedom units of 100 kilos.
220 pounds.
How much do the bigger guys weigh?
The bigger guys, I want to say the next smallest is somewhere around like 120, 130 kilos. A kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So like 120 would be 220 plus another 44, so like 265 or something like that. Yeah, it is light, but he's fast and he's supple. And so he's able to pull off some pretty interesting moves. There's a judo move that he's really good at, sort of like this sort of like leg sweep, but then it includes like a shoulder throwdown. It's one of his signature moves. All right. Yeah, this is all the vegetation. Okay. So we got our veg. A little bit of grapeseed oil. It's maybe a couple of tablespoons for the whole thing. pixie dust. Maybe a little more pixie dust. The counter's clean.
At least it was.
It was clean. Yeah, I fully sanitized that sucker earlier. Okay. There we go. Veg ready to go in the oven. Spry and low gravity. Yeah. Okay. To the stove.
What's the oven at?
It's at 280 right now.
Okay, so that's still lit?
Yeah. So it's at 283. Alright, yeah, 30-minute timer. So when it comes up to temp, we'll put it in and set it for 30 minutes. And then when that timer goes off, we'll pull it out, mix it up, and then back in for another 15. Okay. So I just put a whole bunch of salt in there. Yeah.
This will be done. On the counter, it's fine. You shudder if what accidentally got splashed in my mouth and nose.
I'm sorry, what?
How the soldiers giants?
Yeah.
Comment.
On the counter, it's fine. Y'all shudder at what's accidentally gotten splashed in my nose and mouth. And I'm mostly healthy. You know what? I can imagine what you've almost gotten splashed onto you. And honestly, they don't do parasite tests for keepers. Oh, yeah. There's been times when I've had some questionable things kind of splashed up all on me, too. Most of the time, it's like when I'm making dog food. Potato? Peel the potato. It is almost time to feed the dogs. The bowls are in the dishwasher. Peeled potato. For whipped potatoes, I don't make whipped potatoes very often. Most of the time, like, we'll leave the skins on. They'll be a little chunky and, you know. But it's been a while since I've had whipped potatoes, so I kind of feel like, you know, why not? So we're peeling them. So they're going to be nice and smooth and fluffy and yummy and delicious. That's the point. It was a cookie jam, so I'll refrain, but I have horror stories. No. We love the horror stories. I mean, I can change this to just chat. I mean, like, I can tell you guys the story about how the day before the Whole Foods that I was helping open up, I was being trained on cutting Parmesan with this big double-handed knife, and I ended up like cutting really deeply into my finger. Raid! Oh! The Shreddy Boy is here! What is up, Raiders? Mr. Hot Buttered Noodles himself, Mr. Nick Miller.
AJ!
Hey, what's going on, AJ? I'm peeling potatoes, and I'm telling, we're kind of swapping horror stories. Hey-o! Hey, it's your boy! Rab's here! going on, everybody? So yeah, I'm being trained on how to like cut parm with this big double-handed knife, and it's kind of big pieces, and somehow my pointer finger gets underneath the blade. Oh my goodness. Mr. Andrew Kingsley, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh, just like my shout-out says, the man, the myth, the absolute legend has graced us with his presence. Gotta love custom shout-outs. I love the fact that it's automatic now, so that works for me. Yes, I have preset shout-outs. Oh yeah, I'll totally teach you, Rav. It's a thing you do with a streamer bot. But yeah, I'll totally, we'll talk. But it'll shout out like first time chatters. But then if like there's people of particular note, then you can totally set up like a custom one too. So it's very cool. Anyways, cutting parm. Somehow my finger gets underneath, in between the blade and the table, and goes into my finger. Now initially I'm thinking, oh okay, it's just a minor cut. No big deal. It was almost to the bone. It was a very sharp knife. And so here I am. Guy, like, I'm like, I just want to work. I'm like, just throw a Band-Aid on it. I'll be fine. They're like, no, you definitely need stitches. So literally, I'm first blood. I'm the first injury for this store. And I go all the way, the girl that was training me drove me to the emergency room, and we got stitches. I got like my finger all wrapped up. I'm on light duty, and in pure like, managerial fashion, it's like, well, what can we change? How did this happen? Just the total thing. And I told him, I was honest, I'm like, listen, I don't know how it happened, but my finger just got underneath there. I'm like, I'm not going to do it again. And to be honest, like, from that point, I think I used that large knife maybe 2 more times. When it came to breaking down parm, that knife wasn't what our store wanted to do. Like, I was learning to actually break it with a cheese wire. I used like parm daggers, which you can Google those. It's literally a set of parm knives specifically for breaking down wheels of Parmesan. There's like these wedges. There's some like spade-shaped ones. There's a hook knife that's specifically for scoring the rind, and it's just like this little hook nose blade. They have to punch kind of into it and then drag it in order to break the rind. The corners are always the toughest because they're the thickest. But yeah. Oh, nice. Glad to hear that the stream went well, dude. That's awesome. Avocado Green KitchenAid has called for the intro, so for those that may not have seen this or heard the intro before, I'm gonna roll the intro real quick, and then we'll be back in like 30 seconds, okay? Hang on just a second. Warning. The following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Hey everybody. I'm just cutting potatoes. So then that way they boil up relatively quickly. But, yeah. So that was kind of embarrassing, the whole, first person to cut myself. But, and then of course, like, I literally had managers on managers, like, constantly checking in on me. Hey, Lumpy Pickle, what's going on, man? Always asking, well, how are you doing? And of course, they kind of had to just because of the liability and everything. But, like, I was fine. Like, I mean, for a while, it kind of felt like there might have been some numbness with it, but I don't know. Honestly, I haven't noticed a ton since. So, but I'd be lying if I said that was the only time I injured myself while I worked at Whole Foods. I think the second best injury that I had there is, and I don't know if it'll show up on, oh yeah, it'll show up on camera. So you see this little dot right here? That is a scar from where I sliced that little chunk of skin off with the deli slicer. Because there was a leg of prosciutto that I was slicing, and it was towards the very end. And for whatever reason, they wanted to have all the prosciutto on the top shelf of the showcase that's right there. So you had this big glass case that could open up from the front, and we had doors in the back, and it was refrigerated. The problem was the top shelf, they had LED lights in there that would light most of it. And those lights would raise the temp just enough to where the prosciutto was cool, but it wasn't as cold as if it were on the second shelf. Cold prosciutto is very easy to slice. It slices beautifully. That's the ideal thing that you want to slice. Because in that way you get these perfect, beautiful slices that you can lay out, and all the, the divorcees that are going to be wrapping them in like asparagus or cantaloupe or whatever, and sucking down with their Rombauer Chardonnay. Because honestly, that seemed like that was the bulk of our customers were South County divorcees. Don't ask me why. But we would be able to make these absolutely gorgeous slices, but because they were up on the top shelf and they weren't as cold, they were a little bit more flexible, which made slicing them a pain, and a lot of times we wouldn't get the clean slices that we would ideally like. So one night, slicing prosciutto for a customer, they wanted like a full pound, and of course they wanted it like paper thin. And I'm sitting there slicing it, and I'm like trying to push the leg into the slicer in order to get the clean slices, because like I said, it was, not as cold as it should have been. And I had my hand a little bit too far down, and next thing I know, just took off this tiny little disc. And I'm like, oh. I just kind of pinched it, and I think I turned to my coworker at the time. I'm like, hey, would you mind, finishing up for me for a minute? I gotta run into the back real quick. And I apologized to the customer. I'm like, hey, no big deal. My coworker here, they'll finish up with you. There was nobody else there, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And I just, calmly walked into the back and gave it a good rinse. And I'm sitting there with the paper towel, just like holding it onto it, making sure that, just applying direct pressure as they teach you, doing first aid and stuff like that. Hey, Punisher! What's going on, man? But that's, yeah, so that happened. Thankfully, it was one of those things that I could just slap a Band-Aid on it and call it good, and, I got this cool looking little scar for it, so. Da-da-da. You're wore out, Scott. Sorry to hear it, man. But I got bit by a boa constrictor at the pet store. Oof. If it was a big one, I bet it hurt. Not that it was, I mean, obviously it's not poisonous, but big jaws. Oh. That's rough. Mm. Out of shape, cantankerous. I'm gonna go put this on the stove real quick. Okay, oven's at 10. Okay. All right. Well, since we're at that point,
Time to feed the dogs.
Dog feeding break. Bottom shelf.
Yeah. I figured that out. When
You figured that out when
they weren't there.
when you
Oh?
Oh?
Really?
How do you know? Maybe they were on the top shelf.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I got it.
It's my turn.
That's all right. Normally I'd be doing it tonight anyways.
True. True.
A little bit of coconut oil.
Oh my gosh. Tip of your thumb on the bandsaw. Is it like permanently flat now?
Oof. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that either. Teensy dagger teeth do that. Oh man. There was this time when so this particular batch of dog food is chicken based, and in it is blueberries, bananas, yam. There it is. Yam, cabbage. What else have I put in that? Zucchini. I forget what else. There was another vegetable. I forget what it was. But that's what's in this current batch of dog food. Anyways, back in my youth, we went on a scouting trip out to the desert outside of Barstow, California. Which, if you know anything about Barstow, California, it's a hole. The armpit of California. It is. Yeah. That's about all I can say about it. Yeah. It's where people go to not be found. I think that's kind of the best way of putting it. I don't believe that weighs that much. Hang on. I think I forgot to zero it. I'm like, that does not look like that much food. Nope. Didn't zero it. Anyways, go out there with the scout troop. We're all out there, woo, you know, playing in the desert, whatever. And we go on a hike, or we're going to go on a hike. It's a bit of a walk in order to get to the trailhead. I had a 60-gallon steam-jacketed kettle of boiling water and pasta strip the tilting gears and fall over on me. Had first and second degree on both my legs from the knees down. Ouch! I can only imagine what that's like, Scott. That is not fun. Anyways, we're literally walking over to kind of the trailhead, and the trailhead is, I don't know, maybe 20 feet down an embankment, and it's like some switchback, basically, but it's all gravel. Anyways, a couple of the kids go before me, and they kind of jump down it like they're skiing, and they just, like, you know, totally, like, you know, super cool. They're down and, like, no big deal, right? So here I am. I don't know, 14 or something like that. And I decide, hey, I can do that too. Spoiler alert, I couldn't.
Scott is afraid he gross us out. Like, yeah.
Softball-sized blisters. Yeah, no, dude. I'll tell you my burn story after this. Yeah, so anyways, I go to, do my thing down the embankment. I'm like, okay, slip, face first. I slide down the first switchback and tear up my right knee on a jagged rock. Like it's... I didn't even get onto the trail and I eat it. So we get to go to the Barstow Hospital to get stitches. And it's grim, let me tell you.
How many stitches?
I don't remember the exact number of stitches. I think it was like 11 or 12 or something like that. But it was one of those things that, like, oh my gosh, the hospital was grim. Like there was an old woman there who I remember it seemed like she was probably suffering from dementia, that she didn't remember, like, she's all, where am I? Why am I here? Which was really sad. There was at least one guy who was just out of his mind. In retrospect, I'm guessing on acid. But it was just like a bad situation. Anyways, been there for, I don't even know how many hours. Get shown back into the office. The doctor's back there. And he's looking at it like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, it's, no big deal. So he's like, okay, well, we got to clean it up. And so he, like, hits it with the antiseptic stuff. Because there's, like, like pebbles and stuff in there. And he just starts, like, scrubbing it. I'm just, like, in pain because it was not gentle. Gets it cleaned up. There's, like, a little flap of skin. And when he the only good thing was the painkiller, because when he went to inject it, like he filled up the syringe, and instead of, like, normally it's like you see people use a syringe, they're doing it kind of in this motion. He was doing it in this motion and just, like, stabbing my knee, and so he's just, like, going all around with the painkiller, and then he runs out, refills, and goes again. Yeah, exactly. This is painkiller. Where's Rav when you need him? But there's this little flap of skin, ends up cutting it off, and he throws it at the trash can, which is like 10 feet away. And it doesn't go into the trash can. It sticks to the wall behind the trash can. If that is not an indicator of the level of care given at this particular hospital, I don't know what. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. My leg is getting amputated. Like, this is just not going to end well. Gets me stitched up, gets me patched up. We get back to the campsite. It's like, I don't know, 10, 11 at night or something like that. And thankfully I got out of the running section of PE. That was nice, because I hated running. I still hate running. Clearly. Yeah, it's how you test pasta. Exactly. Make a skin hamper. There you go. That sounds like an art, like a bizarre arts and crafts project, is a skin hamper. Found it. Hannibal Lecter. No, Buffalo Bill's Arts and Crafts Emporium. Here's my skin hamper. Imposter. Oh! Punisher coming through. False spaghetti was an imposter. Nice. Nice. I didn't hit the timer, did I? Okay, timer's going. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But I got the stitches out, and I think it was like 2 weeks. But thankfully it wasn't. They were to dissolve. It puts the butt glitter in the basket. There you go. There you go. Oh man.
What does it get? Like, or else it gets the butt again.
Or else it gets the
TV dinner
the
again?
TV dinner again. Oh man, that would make me put anything in the basket. Don't make me eat a TV dinner. That's a very scary thought. You know, I'm kind of thinking maybe. Do we want a salad?
Do you want to make a salad?
I got time.
Well, I don't make so much food that we can't eat it all.
Yeah, that's the problem. So Mrs. Weiss is actually going out of town tomorrow, and we'll be coming back Sunday afternoon. She's going down to the shore. Sorry, just the Dead Milkmen. They have this song called "Bitch and Camaro."
I'm gonna buy some Italian.
You're gonna go buy some Def Leppard t-shirts.
Yeah.
And play some video games. Don't forget your Motley Crue t-shirts. You know, the proceeds go to getting their lead singer out of jail. That's how long ago this song was written. But it's a favorite of mine. Yeah, she's gonna leave me unsupervised. I know. Scary, huh? Hopefully the house will still be in one piece. I've done pretty good so far. I haven't burned it down yet. So, it's been a while since I've, dumped out some rubbing alcohol on the hardwood floor and lit it on fire. That was the thing that happened.
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Yeah, Avocado Cream KitchenAid can attest to this, since she was the one that walked in on me. Sitting on my hardwood floor, and I had just learned that, the byproduct of, setting rubbing alcohol on fire is water. And it's just, the vapors that burn off, and it's all good. So I ended up pouring out a small puddle of rubbing alcohol on the hardwood floor, lit it on fire, and I got this little fire going on the floor, whatever, like it's no big deal. She-Rock walks in, is freaking out. I'm like, it's all good, Mom. It's just gonna be water. And sure enough, there's I believe still a spot on the floor. No, wait, they redid the floor. I think they redid the floor in that room. But there was a spot on the floor, not a burn spot, but just like a lighter spot on the floor. It's true. I have always had a love affair with fire. And to my credit, I've done pretty dang well with it. Like, I've not, done any, massive damage or anything with it. Just saying.
Not massive damage.
Yes, he has. What have I? Wait, what? What massive damage have I done? I'm waiting.
So out in the back, we have a metal trash can.
Yeah.
And at the top, there's some L brackets, and a Weber grill sits on top, and that's what he uses to finish off the meat. Yeah. Well, originally, it had a little tiny, it
was an electric burner.
A little electric burner way down at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And then, one time, the fat that, from drippings from the meat was all over it, and they caught fire, and the whole thing melted to the bottom of the can. It was hilarious. So that did not make it.
I don't consider that to be massive damage.
It was completely destroyed.
Yes, okay, the electric burner was destroyed, but you know what? It was
the can's still good.
The can is still good. Like last year, we was making candles. Oh yeah, we won't tell that story. Avocado Cream KitchenAid. I did. Hey, to be fair, accidental chaos. The ice cream thing was a rapid expanse, and it was a minor mess. Like, okay, yes, I had to detail the KitchenAid, and it took me about an hour to do it. But hey, nothing was damaged irreparably. You know, it's all good, and it tasted good. So I consider that nothing but win. Minor, large, potato. Yes, science! Exactly, Scott. See, Scott gets it. It's all about the science. That's what it was.
Oh my gosh, Scott. No weed burner inside.
No. Not using it inside.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, the Big Bang in comparison was a minor mess.
That's right. And hey, look at all the good that came from the Big Bang, all right? I mean, come on.
So nothing but good will come of your destruction?
Yes, so, okay. Now, the story that Avocado Green KitchenAid refers to is a story that my father has told many a times, okay? He has told this in company, and so this isn't like some privileged story or anything like that. It's more of a cautionary tale, okay? My dad grew up in South Central LA, okay? And there was a bar really close to where he lived, and the owner, I believe, I'm still a little iffy on like where specifically the stuff came from, like if he served during the Korean War, or yeah, my guess is maybe the Korean War or something like that. Anyways, for whatever reason, he had a whole bunch of ammo and stuff like that he brought home, and one day had decided to like throw it out. My dad, as a kid, found it, thought it was cool, and took it home. Took a bullet apart, dumped the powder out, and lit it on fire and got like a little poof, you know, which was super cool. Now, what does one do with that? I think the way my dad tells the story is that he was using like a cat food canister or something like that, or a little can or something. Dumped out, you know, one thing of powder, lit it, poof, yay, you know, it was fun. Did like two, poof, yay, you know, it was like a little bit bigger. Well, he decided to skip a few in ratcheting it up and put, you know, a couple of, you know, a fair pile of this gunpowder out, and went to light it. Now, gunpowder lights very quickly. He ended up burning off his eyebrows and a good chunk of his hair, as you know, happens as a result of this, and I believe he said there were first degree burns, you know, like a bad sunburn sort of thing. His mom was very upset by the incident. Now, I don't know if I've told this story, and I'm not sure if Avocado Cream KitchenAid is aware of it, but I think, when was this? I don't remember how old I was at this point. I think it was like around 17 or 18. And post July 4th, there were some fireworks that had not gone off. And I found these fireworks that had not gone off and had poured out the powder into it might have been a little canister or something like that. Anyways, having not completely heeded the story of my father, I lit said powder, but it lit very, very quickly. And what did it do? It burned off my arm hair all the way to my elbow, singed my eyebrows, and definitely singed my hair. Like, it singed it big time, right? The residue from the gunpowder, like, made my hand, like, gray. I wasn't burned, thankfully, but it was, like, super gray. So I just, like, I made a beeline for the bathroom in the house. I'm, like, trying to wash it off. I'm, like, trying to...
What does burning smell like?
Exactly. What does burning smell like? I'm, like, trying to, like, wash it out of my hair. I'm, you know... Like, the thing that really saved me is I had my glasses on, and it, like... my glasses went gray from the smoke. And... I'm sitting there, I'm like washing it off, I'm cleaning my glasses, I'm doing all this stuff. I throw a hat on, and I tell my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna go get a haircut. I'll be back. And it's like the only time that I can remember ever saying just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a haircut, because at that point, like I was attempting to grow my hair a bit. So, yeah, that happened.
20.
So many years later. Glasses saved your dad's eyes too. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure they singed my eyebrows too. I don't remember completely, but, you know, the folly of youth. What other stories have I hid? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if there's anything else that, like, I've done that I'm like, oh, I gotta hide this sort of thing. Yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. It's not like nothing crazy like burning stuff or whatever. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. To be honest, like I never really got into that many kind of shenanigans like that to where it resulted in some kind of, you know, potential bodily harm or anything like that.
I know something you hid. Little soccer clippers that I use all the time.
What about them?
Nail clippers. You said your parents wouldn't let you buy them.
I know the clippers that you're speaking of. I just don't remember.
You said when you gave them to me that your parents wouldn't let you buy them, but you bought them anyway. When you were like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it must have been 7 or 8. Like, I was a little kid, and it would have been at the Scholastic Book Fair that they had at schools, you know, when you're a kid, and you're like, oh, you're gonna go buy stuff. Anyways, like, there was this nail clipper that had like this design that's like soccer. Squire Creamskull's here.
Yeah.
Why does this feel like I'm coming to a come to Jesus moment? It's fine. Names have been changed to protect the guilty. Oh. Hey, thanks for the bits, Mally. How you doing? Bits and cats and cats and cats and cats. I don't have the text-to-speech installed, unfortunately. But, welcome. Am I healed? Is this what being healed feels like? Have I been saved? No, we're just, you know, telling stories. Anyway, so this, like, yeah, I think they were like $1 or something like that. And I remember, like, wanting to buy them, and my parents were like, no, don't spend your money on that or something like that. But I went back to the fair and bought them anyways and hid them for years or something. I don't know. And then I gave them to Mrs. Wayso and she loved them. So huzzah. But howdy how. I take it you're done with work for the day, Mally? Or Mali? She's an editor, in case anybody didn't know. But 8 minutes on the Instant Pot until the cool down starts. And what do we got? 15 minutes before the stir up. So let's see, the roasted veg and this, in theory, should be done right around the same time. It's almost as if I know what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes. Either that or I just fake it really well. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that, like, any, like, weird shenanigans that I got into as a kid.
I don't recall of any cool stories.
No, I mean, like, anything that may have occurred, like, it doesn't, like, stuff doesn't stand out, that I can really think of. I mean, there was any number of times when, I think it was post high school, hanging out with the group of friends that I had, where we would actually, if we got bored, we would do this random driving. And the whole idea is that you take a coin, because we had nothing to do, we were bored, and we're like, okay, let's just go driving. And instead of, like, having a specific destination in mind, you take a quarter, get to an intersection, flip the coin, and the coin would tell you which way you would turn or go straight or whatever. If your name was Hippie, then Mrs. Waste would be Mississippi. This is true. Mrs. Hippie. Mrs. Hippie. There you go. We would do stuff like that all the time. I mean, we ended up in Compton once. That was kind of fun. That was just some late night hanging out, and yeah, that's just how it ended up. Was we ended up in Compton before turning around. Compton is about, I don't know, about a 30 to 40 minute drive or so from where I grew up ish. This is not, oh, so gross stories. How many folks here know what an egret rookery is, or what it looks like? Yeah, I know an egret is a bird, but a rookery, I'm not entirely certain what that is on the Soldier Giants. Please regale me with fun, gross stories.
Bring it on, I dare.
Bring it on! Bigger birds, yeah. Rookery. I have Google. Let's see. Images. Okay, I see pictures of birds. It's just egrets. Filled with regret. No. Okay, an egret rookery is where a bunch of egrets nest, in the hundreds, maybe thousands. Oh, okay. And they're disgusting. I can imagine that they would be. Whenever you get a large group of birds together, it just sort of makes sense. Kind of like, so this would have been, was this right before the lockdown?
What?
When we went to the lake with Higgins.
That was the day before we got sick, so the Monday before the lockdown.
Okay, yeah, so it would have been the Monday before, I can imagine. That was not supposed to paste yet. Oh well. So, okay, let's, story in reverse. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. So this would have been the Monday before lockdown. I had just gotten laid off from the pest control job that I had. The parents of some friends of ours had flown into town from, I think, Arkansas, with a layover in Seattle, which is important to the story. Hanging out, they're here for a few days. We all decide to go to this lake that's like a half hour plus away. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so the lake is, a bit of a drive away, and it's closed for the season because it's March. But we decide, hey, let's park outside the gate and walk to it, which was a bad idea because that walk sucked. Anyway, but we get down to the lake, and the Canadian geese have decided this is our place now. And I can imagine if they are, that if it's anything like this egret rookery, then yeah, we understand completely what you're talking about on Soldier Giants, because it was just like Canadian geese
everywhere.
did their business everywhere. It was impossible to take a step without stepping in Canadian goose poop. You could tell it was Canadian because there was like little bits of Canadian bacon and maple syrup in them. No, I'm kidding. But those were the only things that were around. It was, yes, there was a distinct maple smell in the air.
And it was very friendly.
No, Canadian. No, that's where all the anger and frustration that Canadians feel, they get personified in those geese.
Okay.
Those suckers are mean.
Yeah, they are.
Egrets are siblicides. Did I say that right? Siblicides, meaning the oldest chick kicks the youngest chick out of the nest to die. It's natural for them, and they've evolved to do this. Parents can rear one chick and re-nest up to 3 times in the same season. So then I would imagine, besides you have, thousands of these egrets nesting in this one area, doing not only their business, but then it's kind of like the bodies of the dead are probably also everywhere too. I can imagine they would be super gross, but they just kind of do their thing. I think on the Soldier Giant said that the rookeries get up to hundreds or thousands.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Because you don't always see them alone.
That's the Instant Pot. Okay, 60 minutes are up for this. 15 minutes for on the pressure release, the natural release, and then after 15 minutes we'll release the rest of the pressure, crack it open, and get to business. In the meantime, 7 minutes on this, and then another 15 minutes for the vegetation. I could probably turn the fire on for the potatoes. There. Wasn't a whole lot of point in starting those, just because I didn't want them to sit around idle for quite so long. So let's see, we got that. We got butter, we got cream. Do we want some green onions to go with the potatoes and stuff? Sure. Okay.
Sure.
Mr. G Money. What's going on, good sir? I was only able to catch a little bit of the shreddy. I'm not sure what it was called. King of the Shred, I think it was. But what I did hear from the guys, they both, like, quite skilled.
Woodchuck skills.
No. Shreddy skills. Shreddy skills, like with the guitar.
Oh.
Yeah, Grant was a judge on that today.
Sorry, I couldn't watch. I have a job.
Yes.
My job is as cool as
True. Who's raiding? Oh, Grant's raiding. Oh, hey, what's going on, folks? I see Miss Panty Pants. Or as we like to call her, Mommy Pants now.
I'm so excited for the baby.
Hey, thanks for the resub, folks. We got a hype train. Hey, Landfear, what's going on, man?
Is this your first hype train?
Pretty dang close. That's mom jeans. That's true. That is mom jeans. It's mom jeans. Which, Panty, if you've not seen the mom jeans commercial from SNL, it's a classic one with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and like Rachel Dratch is in it. Definitely look it up. It's amazing. It's hilarious. Yeah, no worries, Grant. Go. Take care of the kids. Take care of the fam. Thanks for popping in. Oh, you used the barbecue rub tonight. Nice. Nice. Hey, G-Trav Alex, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Ingve Mom Jeans. Oh, that is an excellent one, Scott Connor. Right on. Thanks for, popping in, everybody, and thanks for the resubs. Right now, all I'm doing is slicing up some green onions. That's going to go on this Mississippi instant pot roast. And the whipped taters. Now, normally with whipped taters, I would use a like a hand mixer. But I don't have a hand mixer. So I'm just going to use a whisk. The old-fashioned way. We currently have a little under 10 minutes left. I'll move this so it's more readily visible. About 10 minutes left until we release the pressure on the Instant Pot and then crack it open. Yeah, it's only 7 here. Yep. Yeah, Mrs. Hueso is hanging out in back. Mrs. Hueso, you should come in and say hi to Panty and everybody.
Mama.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. I did
Yes.
my keto tonight.
Rest of my biddies. Oh!
I was
Joe boy!
Woo! Oh, you guys are amazing.
It's so weird watching him now that he's been here. He's like,
I know.
wait, I know that angle.
Oh, I get it now.
You're like,
This is where the
oh.
glasses are.
You're like,
And Pickle can tell you, they're not red, they're magenta.
yes, the cabinets are magenta.
Magenta. Grant
Magenta.
and Andy can also attest to that.
This is true. They can.
Brad,
Hey, what's going on, Harkonnen?
Brad, we have to have you guys over. Next time the
Yes.
band comes through, we'll feed you.
Yes, absolutely.
Most
Yes,
of the tribes are coming.
the new wave of nice metal buds. You got a place to eat. You roll through Portland, you got a place to eat.
There's plenty of room on the street for the tour bus.
This is true. There is plenty of room on the street because we live in a neighborhood of old people and they all park in their garage. Other than the people towards the end of the block that currently have a boat out there for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's just because, that's how they are. Yes, we gotta feed the metal buds. Coming by myself, ain't sharing foodless, accidentally eat my guitar stand. Hey, no worries, man. Roll into PDX anytime. I gotcha.
We got
I got you. Yeah, parking, right? Parking was never an issue. Across the street, in front of the house. And the nice thing is that... Hey, what's going on, Wolfie Metal Beast? Woo! So at least where I grew up in California, the rule of the road is you can only park on the side of the road that you would normally be driving on.
Right.
So for us, it's going to be on the right-hand side. However, that's not the case here. Here, doesn't matter.
Park as long as you're parked.
As long as you're parked and not too far away from the curb, you're fine.
Oh. So that's happening. How is pregnancy, Painey? Very excited for you.
Hit the cook button for me.
Cook button. Very excited for you. Yep, but who cares?
She's getting a blood draw.
That's not uncommon when you're pregnant. As are ultrasounds. Not that I've ever been pregnant. Mr. Weso and I got married too late in life to have babies. We can still have babies now, but we have to find an egg donor and spend way too much money doing it.
Spend a lot of money, and we're both in our upper 40s.
Yeah, like I do not want to be chasing a toddler around.
Like
Today,
a puppy is enough work.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, in 2 years I have to chase a toddler. No.
I'm like, there's a reason why we moved out of a townhouse.
Yeah.
Even though we had lived there for like 7 years.
That'd be awesome. Harkonnen recommends a UTA onesie. That'd be awesome. Pajamas.
Nice.
I want like little footies in it. We'll have to see, like, when the new album comes out, like we could theme it off of that.
Oh yeah, totally.
That'd be awesome.
Just need to.
NIPT. What is that?
Wait, yeah, but I'm getting.
Oh, genetic testing. You actually
nice.
wrote it there. Sorry, I didn't finish reading.
Gender less important, finding gender is much more important. Yes, absolutely.
That's a great idea. Custom eternal hunger bib.
Oh.
Will it have pockets so my food falls in?
Yeah. You gotta have the pockets for the food to fall into.
Yep.
So that you get a snack a little bit later.
Save it for later.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be... Because you could totally turn, like, a band shirt into a onesie really easily. Because because honest... Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought adult onesies. I forgot there's a baby. Oh, a baby onesie would be better.
A onesie for mom jeans?
For me.
Oh, for you. A onesie for you?
I was thinking of those sleeper onesies.
Oh, with like the feet and stuff.
Sorry, I don't want a onesie.
I'm like, that seems kind of odd.
And that just got weird.
Baby Shark. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like a band shirt being turned into like a baby onesie would be super easy because it's just a matter of tucking the sleeves and then removing material out of the back, and so it'd be like an all-over graphic. I can imagine like an XL, maybe like a 2XL or something like that, because if it's long enough, you could totally like sew it up and down and put like all the little buttons in there. So then that way it'd have like a full body onesie.
Sure.
That'd be awesome.
See? Onesies for everyone. Woo!
Onesies for everybody. Oh my gosh. I don't know if they make onesies in like blimp size.
Or if they do, that's not something.
Oh well.
It's a privilege.
Actually,
not a right.
No, they probably. Well, to be fair, they probably do make them in my size, but I got to go to a very specific kind of store in order to find them.
Ain't nobody really want that.
Mm.
Let's get the pretty people to wear them.
Yes.
Or Grant.
There you go.
Because, you know,
Or
some of the stuff he wears is almost
band
the same
t-shirt,
thing.
sweatpants, show shirt to sweatpants, optional socks, done. Yeah, there you go.
There, good call.
Mine says Hindenburg on the side. See, there you go. Yeah, mine just says like pavilion. You know, it's like a tent.
Tent.
Yes. Which I actually we extended the straps on my.
By we, he means me.
By her.
I sewed those.
It was my idea though.
It was, and you bought them.
And I did. So anyways, we extended the straps on my my battle apron here, so then that way it ties in front. So.
I'm just thinking we need to like melt the edges so they don't keep fraying.
Yeah. Well, I did run it through the washer today because it needed to be a good wash. Hard to relax in those 2 tents. Yeah. Trying to find a bra. Need to hit up my buddy Omar, the tent maker.
The tent maker.
Heyo. Well,
What?
no. I'm gonna back away from that conversation because it's too riddled with landmines. We're just gonna back
Just walk
that
away.
up. We're just
Change the subject. Nothing about broths.
water's really good.
Do you guys have big plans for the weekend here in this part of the world? It's a big holiday weekend.
Maternity bras. I'm sorry.
They're a real thing. They have Velcro or
They do.
snaps or something.
Little peekaboo, like.
Hello! Just put little tassels on.
Have a little drink. Yes.
That's what got you into this. Oh.
There's just like there's a pump and a keg tap or something like that. No, not so much.
You did Accidental Chaos? Did they change?
Oh, you did have
This conversation has gone many places.
many places. Big gulps. There you go.
Peekaboo.
Heyo.
Isn't that kind of like the Janet Jackson peekaboo?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Sorry. Anyways,
That was planned.
isn't there food or something we should be doing?
Yeah, like in a minute and a half.
Bloobs.
Bloobs.
Bloobs. Yeah. This conversation's got many places.
That's
Thank
okay.
you all for helping that. That's what makes this fun.
It does. It is what makes it fun.
Your computer's gonna have a memory failure.
It's true.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is true. We all are. I mean, farts are always funny. That's just how it goes.
Pickle. But I put a little extra memory in it.
I put a little extra memory in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's doing okay? Accidental Chaos? Oh, they're missing a leg. That sucks. And it just got real.
Oof. Yeah. That's
COVID's no joke.
no.
Like,
It is no joke.
When we had it, it was awful.
Twice.
And then my father actually passed away. It was complications of COVID, but
To be fair,
he was older.
He
and
was
had some
older, and at that
breathing
point,
issues.
yes. And at that point, he was just like, I'm done, and so he gave up.
Yeah.
Farts are always funny.
But we could start a little band. That's
Yeah.
our music maker. Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the timer.
Andy's got that keyboard that plays fart sounds.
Well, no, it's a guitar pedal.
A guitar pedal, sorry.
Excuse me.
I don't know the terms. Anyways, think we can get a kitchen timer that does that? Should we switch the camera?
Yeah, switch it to that one.
Not that you could see.
Not that you can see the venting.
It's working here.
I thought I was getting better earlier today, but the fever's back in full force. Do you need some cowbell, Adinthia? Yes, that's the one, AJ. That particular guitar pedal.
Yeah.
I sadly missed it when he was playing with it. I missed that stream.
Well,
I hear that it was pretty legendary.
No, we were watching one of the streams he had it because I was like, what's happening right now?
But it wasn't for very long.
Should I turn this down or are we good?
No, leave it up
Next
high.
step
Has
is
it,
to fold in the cheese.
has it come to a boil?
Yeah, and overblowing.
Oh, it is?
What does it
Okay.
mean?
Then
What does fold in the cheese mean?
turn that down.
He folds it in.
And let's set a timer. Okay, I got 7 minutes on that. Okay. 7.5 minutes on the veg in the oven. The potatoes are at a boil. We're going to check them in that amount of time to see if we finish them off. But first,
But
let's...
But intended.
But intended. Okay. Our Mississippi instant pot roast. This is the moment of truth. Because the big question is, can I shred it? And it appears that yes I can. Okay. So we've got. I'm gonna pull a little bit. I want to give this a taste. Hey, darling.
Okay.
Come here.
I like it. You're not gonna tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what I think because I don't want to color your opinion.
What color is my opinion?
If it's like your energy, maybe it's amber.
Oh, baby, how dare you?
I hate 311 for reference.
Why did you do that? I thought you loved me. I love you 2% less.
Oh, that's justified. We quantify our love with numbers, just so we're clear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excellent.
Right?
On the Soldier Giants, man, you're right.
Yeah, no joke.
It tastes good too, pickle.
So we've got pepperoncini, we've got some onions and mushrooms in here, because I figured that would just add a little bit of additional flavor. I'm kind of thinking the next time I make this, like, granted I've not like really dug into it yet, but a couple of things I'm already thinking. Number one, chunk up the meat.
Chunk up the meat.
As opposed to just like the big chunks. So like actually cut it up into like chunks.
Why?
Just make it a little bit easier.
Just cause.
Yeah. Think about that roast with taco seasoning in it. Okay, yeah, I can see that. The other thing that I would do, I think, because the whole dump idea makes a ton of sense and I like it a lot. But if I'm cutting up the chunks, I think what I would do is actually toss them in like that ranch packet and that onion soup packet. Like I would actually toss them in it. And then hit it with like the liquid and get it all mixed up. So then that way it's all thoroughly coated before dropping it in.
On the Soldier it says it's really watery, but you did add more liquid than would normally go in.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I mean, at least my understanding is that with the, like if you're making it in a crock pot, you're not really adding any liquid, maybe a little bit, but that's about it. With the Instant Pot, the liquid's not going anywhere, but you have to have liquid in there in order for it to come up to pressure. So we knew we were going to get liquid, but now I'm kind of thinking bust out the fat separator and reduce the juices and take off the fat, and then add the juices back to the meat. Dog, I just ate a full meal. I'm still hungry watching your stream. See, Rav, this is why, yes, I'll tell you what witchcraft it is. There's a reason why my streams have that warning message at the beginning. You know, eat first or, you know, bring a snack. So, yeah, I can absolutely see, like, how these, like, in a meat pie or something like that would be amazing. This over the mashed potatoes that we're going to make in a little bit, I think are going to be awesome. But, okay. Yeah, I want to keep them separated. Let's strain this. We need that, and I need one other thing. Ooh, no.
We needs a few good taters. What's taters, precious? What's taters, huh? Potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
You left. Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
I miss you.
I missed you too. I had to run in back in order to get my. This is a Cambro container. It's 6 quart, so that's a gallon and a half. So then that way I could more effectively strain out all of this yummy stuff.
Groovy.
In fact, I'm thinking, hey babe,
Yeah.
would you be so kind as to get one of the quarter sheet trays and cover it in the non-stick foil for me?
Non-stick foil. Scott Connor is asking if anyone's dreading the new Lord of the Rings on Prime.
You know what? I don't know how I feel about it. I can't say that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm excited, or like, "Arr," you know, whatever. Oh, 15 seconds on the clock. But I will say that I have been enjoying She-Hulk so far.
Which of the 5 timers is it? We have a couple.
Yeah, we've got 5 timers on the side of the fridge.
I got 2. 2 of them are mine. They were like a Christmas gift or something.
Okay, so I got to deal with the vegetation. I'm gonna give. Once this is drained, get the meat and everything onto the tray so we can
Check.
pop it in the oven.
Check.
And then we're gonna pour the liquid into the separator.
Gotta keep it separated.
You gotta keep it separated. Would you hit the cook button for me?
Cook button. Boop.
So there we go. Roasted veg. I mean, you remember, like, if you were here earlier, if not, I'll describe it. The tray was full of the vegetation, but because of the roasting, I mean, you can see that the volume, it's nowhere near what it was. And leftovers are fantastic in things like frittatas or quiche or just with breakfast.
Gotta say
Eggs,
potatoes,
potatoes.
lunch the next day.
Yeah.
Old timers. You can't be that old, Scott.
Okay. Potatoes be ready.
How
How what?
it's still drippy. Like, at what point am I?
Well, if
Just
it,
say
I mean,
it's good enough.
if it's a steady stream, let it keep draining. But if it's like drip, drip,
Steady stream.
okay, then let it keep going.
Let it keep going. Shrinkage indeed. Like a frightened turtle. It's cold outside. Brr.
That's right. Okay.
Right now it's drip, 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 drip.
Okay.
Oh, steady stream. I shook it.
I'm just drying out the potatoes.
And then he's gonna mash them, and you said whip them?
Yes.
Whip them real good.
When a problem comes along, you must whip it. If the cream sets it along, you must whip it. Now whip it into shape. Spicy. Back straight. Go forward.
Did he really say
Move it.
back straight?
Yeah.
Oh. I've always learned songs wrong.
It doesn't
I
matter,
put on
baby.
the record for
Kaboom.
you.
No, I believe you. I didn't know that's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling this good.
All right. Then yeah, go ahead and spread it out on the tray.
Spreading it.
Spread it.
Let's get weird, folks. Come on.
And needs to be caressed as it's spread. Don't hard charge it. Decay after dark.
That's right.
Here you go.
Okay. Top shelf. And then set a timer for
Money
5 minutes.
5 minutes on the clock, please. I need to get this bad boy rinsed quickly. Rinse it now or we'll get life later.
Mm-hmm.
The first I'm going to pour. How long does it take to separate?
Not very long. You can see it. Go ahead and hit the food prawn button and show it to the peoples.
Showing it to the peoples. Here you go, peoples. What? I'm gonna walk away. What camera do you want?
Go ahead and bring it back to cook.
Decay after dark ruined my tranquility and power washing.
That's right.
That's what we aim for.
Heavy cream.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, ooh. Ooh, whip me, daddy.
What's your name? Call me daddy.
Call me daddy.
Spicy.
What does daddy eat? Boys, boys, boys.
It's an SNL skit with
Rami Malek,
Rami Malek. No, but I was thinking
Bo and Yang.
Bo and Yang. It's really funny. It's been a crazy day.
How does daddy trap his prey? Daddy walks in, slaps down the credit card and says, Daddy's got it.
We've been off the rails, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We've been off the rails. What haven't we talked about today?
I don't know. Let's figure it out and talk about it.
Let's just hit all the topics.
Let's get weird, folks. Come on.
In years was the Colonial Angus one with Christopher Walken.
Oh.
Yeah. Pickle can only do things from afar.
That's okay. Okay, potatoes be ready.
Check. This is separating.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's only what, a 10, 12-hour drive? It took, when the band came, it took them like 12 hours to get here, wasn't it?
That is correct.
Of course, it was a bus.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just right down the street. Head on up, Pickle. By then, who knows what'll happen? 11 hours from now, we'll be all strung out. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm just rinsing because
Yes.
if I don't rinse this stuff, it's going to be miserable.
Nope, you done good. Alright, so we can move this. So we've got the juices on there. Now it's on high and it should start reducing to thicken up and really concentrate that flavor. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what?
On the Soldier Giant said that the gravy is going to be crazy good.
Yes. I would say
Oh, I'll give this to you.
all the gravies you've done out of this thing have been incredible.
That's gonna be the big key though, is reducing it. All right, so that's doing its thing.
It's doing its thing.
All right, the meat is just about.
So what should we discuss? What haven't we discussed? We've talked birds, crazy stories,
Have we talked bees yet?
bees. I don't know much about bees. Anyone know anything about bees?
Well, we talked about birds. It just seemed like bees is sort of the next logical step.
We implied some bee stuff, if you know what I mean. Good job not making a ton.
Because you're not going to be here.
I'm not gonna be here. We've had some jokes. Hopefully, I don't know. I've been trying to talk them into doing some stuff for the stream on Saturday, but
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know if I can get them to do it.
We'll see how it goes.
They do sting you. That's true. And they pollinate things. Pollination is good.
Alright, so potatoes.
Potatoes, is this hot?
It's probably all hot.
Oh, I can pick up the lid.
Okay. Tongs for that.
Yeah.
Spoon for that. Boom. And boom.
Boom.
If you want to get a plate and start dishing yourself up.
Get a plate? What? Today I choose the dragonfly plate.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know you can see it very good.
Oh, yeah, switch camera.
So, forever, we couldn't decide on a pattern that we both liked, so we decided to go the Japanese route and just, every time we went to the market, we'd buy 1 or 2 pieces, and now we have a pretty cool collection that doesn't match.
To be fair, the markets that we were getting them at were, like the plates were all less than like $5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're all pretty cheap. There was it was a 99-cent Japanese store that we would go to quite a bit and just get all kinds of like fun random stuff. I mean, shoot, the decorations for a wedding reception predominantly came from that 99-cent store.
It's true. Should I put a little butter on these potatoes?
Yeah, I would.
They definitely need pepper, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. And then we can hit it with a bit of this gravy.
Oh, this is not pepper.
No, those are mustard seeds.
They look like pepper.
It's mustard.
Over there in the shadow. They look like pepper.
Peppers in the grinder. This is what she grabbed. These are brown mustard seeds.
In my defense, he's got a jar of ground up pepper over there.
Not anymore.
You used it all?
Yeah. I used the rest of it today in that barbecue sauce.
I was saying it was here this morning when I left for work. It was there.
I used it earlier.
Oh, good. Good. Glad to hear it. Gunpowder does look like pepper, Scott.
Alright.
If we eat it, we will blow up.
That's right.
And not the good kind.
No.
Not the good kind of blow up.
Is there a good kind of blow up?
I don't know. Maybe. No, fireworks. It definitely would cause some gastric discomfort. Excuse. That's something we haven't discussed. Maybe we should keep it that way.
Try that.
Woo! It's a little salty. But it's good. It's a hair salty for me.
Mm.
I'm just being honest. That's the
No,
rule.
that's fair enough.
Spinal Tap drummer blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the rule in the
thing
house.
Coming through.
DK will feed you, but you have to speak the truth if you don't like it or if it tastes bad.
Yeah,
He's messed up a couple of times.
I have. Oh yeah, no, there's been a couple of times where I was just like, oh no,
This is
no,
failure.
no.
Yeah. Never do this again. Or why did this turn out?
You're gonna do your beauty shot?
Money shot.
Do your money shot. Go for it. Up. There you go. And then gently spin it.
I need to get a lazy Susan.
You got a lazy husband.
Lazy is not the word I'd use to describe you.
That's
Money shot!
okay. Cool. So we got that. So feel free to tuck in.
Okay.
Because, yeah. So anyways,
Oh, I know what you're doing.
yes, you know what I'm doing. Yeah. We're going to do a bonus round. So, we talked about meat pies earlier. Thing is there's other things that one can do with these particular leftovers. Uh-oh. Treats for the dogs.
Okay. Okay, but I just sat down.
I'm just saying. Anyways, thing is like, okay, we're not going to eat all of this in one sitting. So what can one do with, say, the leftovers? You know what you can do? You get yourself a roll. And you get that. You get this. You get that. And I think that's it. Okay. Haven't even eaten. We're doing the bonus round. So here's what we're doing. Let me get... This one's got kind of a funky... much better. Okay. So, we are going to make ourselves a sandwich. That was part of the reason why I added the mushrooms and onions in here. Because mushrooms and onions and peppers with hot beef on a sandwich roll is a very delicious thing. And then got that provolone cheese. I don't know why I'm trying to tear it open. I got scissors right here. One slice. Two slice. Alright, so I'm going to go pop this into the oven to melt and kind of toast up. And then I'm going to make mix up some mayo and some horseradish or some horseradish mayo to spread on this top side. And we're looking at like a Mississippi cheesesteak is kind of what we're... Yes, there you go. On the Soldiers of Giants, got it. So, actually, I've turned on the broiler.
Is there a kitchen tool or gadget you don't have that you want?
A kitchen tool or gadget that I don't own that I would want. Huh.
Because you have them all.
No, I don't have them all. I don't own them all. I own a lot,
Trebuchet.
but I don't own a kitchen trebuchet. That's true. I need to be able to send stuff over into Vancouver. Okay. So I'm putting this under the broiler for a minute before checking it. Which is plenty of time to make some horseradish mayo. Ah yes, Beaver extra hot
Next step is to
horseradish.
fold in the
So-
cheese.
I've told this story.
What does that mean? What does fold in the
But
cheese mean? Fold it in.
when Unleash the Archers came over before their show last September, and I made sous vide beef, one of the things that Granted requested was horseradish. And so me being me, decided, hey, I'm gonna go and get fresh horseradish and make it myself, because I have made weapons grade horseradish before. A little melty. All right.
Okay, wait. Harkonnen, you have 2 dog treats in. So, we can do 2 little treats or
Oh, a big treat.
1 big treat. Do you have a preference? In all fairness, if I give a big treat to the little girl, she's gonna take off running.
Yeah.
You won't get to see
She
it.
always runs to the back room.
She likes to kind of run off and eat it.
Big
so.
target painted on it. And yeah. So anyways, I purchased fresh, what I thought was fresh, horseradish. And according to the timetables and everything for when you add the vinegar in order to stop the chemical process, I did it where it'd be like literally weapons grade, like violation of the Geneva Convention, like strength horseradish.
Are we on stream?
Oh,
Because here's the dogs.
there are the
Can
dogs.
you see your...
Yeah, you can see her face.
You can see her face.
Anyways, it was an older root. It was weak.
Yeah. Yeah. He has done weapons grade before. I'm gonna give him...
Got a little toasty there.
We've been having that as an issue.
Hi, Jane.
That happened the last time you kind of did that. Come here,
To be fair, that particular corner is also up higher. So yeah, that was it was pretty weak. I was embarrassed, and so I literally went out and just got this bottle of the Beaver Extra Hot, and sure enough, it is quite hot. Just the way it should be. So there we go. Whoop. Yeah, it got a little toasty there. I want it a little like, oh, you totally whiffed that one. I took the torch to the cheese to get a little bit extra color on there. All right, go take care, Rav. Love you, man. Which, if y'all haven't listened to Ravenous Eternal Hunger yet, you really should. They're awesome. Why you know, follow him. Not to mention the fact that Bandcamp Friday is tomorrow, which means that any purchases made through Bandcamp, including like their merch store and stuff, 100% of the proceeds go to the band. I have been told that there's going to be some stuff on there available for sale, which I know I'm going to be camping out on that page, waiting for it. So, boom. Sammy! Okay, have a good night, Painty. Painty Mom Jeans. Mississippi pot roast cheesesteak. This is gonna make a huge mess, so I'm gonna eat over the tray here.
Tray or
That's pretty tasty. Mmm. Mmm. This was an excellent choice for bonus round.
You chose wisely. Do you have a bite?
Mm-hmm. Come get some.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Is it hot?
Mm.
Mmm. That is good.
Right?
It's not bland.
It's not bland. That is good.
Mmm. Provolone's good cheese. Where do you want me to put this down?
Just on the tray there. Right on.
Right on.
Good game.
I always smack his bottom as we walk through the kitchen and you say good game.
Good game.
Just FYI.
Okay. Okay, well, you know what? I think it's time to sit and eat and enjoy the latest episode of She-Hulk. Just want to say a big thank you to everybody that resubbed, anybody that, tossed some biddies in my direction. Thanks you to Nick Miller as well as Grant Truesdale for the raids. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody else.
I can't.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. So, much love to everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. We had a good time. I think we had a good time tonight. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go raid Lords of the Trident. The Tide. They were doing a live show. I think they're cleaning up. I don't know if they're still going to be going for a while. But yeah, let's go raid Lords of the Trident. So, thanks so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I love all you guys. I will be back Saturday. Not sure what time as of yet. No clue what I'm making yet, because I'm cooking literally for me. So I feel like, my options are very much wide open. Oh, Carol Phillips Art. Hey, thanks for the follow. Carol is a pretty spectacular digital artist. If you've not seen her Etsy store, I highly recommend it for those over the age of 18. Because it is of a fantasy nature. And yeah, for those over the age of 18. I'm just saying. But girl's got skills. Just saying.
Got talent.
She's got talent. Anyways. Alright, folks. We're going to go raid Lords of the Trident. I will see all y'all Saturday. Have yourself a wonderful night. And I will catch you guys online probably later. Definitely tomorrow. Alright? Take care, folks.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today.